Very much for joining us here in the Sports Central and the Spectrum Television. And it's a very fine morning to be here in Blyden. As always, join this conversation. Blyden, it's a fine morning to have you join us.
So good to be here, Bright James.
Happy New Month.
And tell me I'm looking sharp.
Yeah, sorry. I noticed the haircut too.
Okay. Thank you all the same. Happy New Month, brother.
All right, so let's begin from tennis this morning. And, well, it's now confirmed. His reign has started. We're talking about the man, Daniil Medvedev. It's now confirmed as the new world #1, but the conversation now is his reason to the top of the tennis rankings for the very first time, and we know the very fine details, becoming the third Russian to reach that particular stage, the tallest player to be ranked #1, and the sixth oldest player to be named #1 at 26 years. But you look at the gap now between himself and the second place, Novak Djokovic, was now slipped to #2. Not much.
Yeah.
So it definitely tells you, he needs to do a whole lot. He needs to work assiduously hard to ensure he keeps that spot at #1 at least for this particular year. But before we get to talk about that, how long can he keep this spot?
Wow, big question. How long can he keep the sport? I do not know, Bright James. But first of all, I'm quite happy for Medvedev getting to this position and playing quite well. We've seen the performances, and he's the sixth oldest at 26, and that speaks volume. What has been the volume is speaking is the fact that you see that the likes of Rafael Nadal, Federer, Djokovic had not given the younger generation opportunity to climb to that spot. So it had to take him massive years at 26 to become world #1, despite losing at Acapulco to Rafael Nadal. With great performances all through, you look at Medvedev and you're quite excited at what's happening in the sports and the division of tennis for these younger lads who are coming in. Sadly, I'm still looking at Medvedev as a younger lad because of lack of dominance that's come from the younger generation. But exciting, he's been playing quite well. Exciting that it seemed like a gene so far for me. He's been able to break it and get to the top. And just as I said yesterday, it's massive for the younger generation coming up to think to themselves that probably they could do these things. In Medvedev could change the narrative. Probably the likes of Zverev will be looking at it, bringing intensity into the games with a hope that they can change it and also become a world #1. Be that as it may, the question was, how long can he remain as world #1? I do not know. It's a close contest. You have the likes of Djokovic still sticking around, and the numbers are not that massive in terms of a gap. And who knows? If Djokovic plays quite well in the coming tours in March, you never can tell what might happen. He might unseat him and become a world #1 again. Right. But for now, great moment, great tempo. It's just great for tennis to have another wave, a new wave of a champion.
Right, after 361 massive weeks, we'll have a new #1, and that's how long we'll have to wait to have this man, Daniil Medvedev, ascend to the throne when we're talking about the highest ranked player in the ATP. Let's still with the rankings and talk about other notable movements. No way you look beyond Acapulco champion, the man who started the season in his best possible form, 15 love. We're talking about the man, Rafael Nadal. There's reason now to #4, moving up one spot. Massive.
Big ups to Rafael Nadal. You expect that to happen, especially when he started the year the way it's done. The best of his career, beginning of the year. Last time out it was 11-0, and now he's hit massive 15-0 in terms of winnings for the year. Fantastic the way Rafael Nadal is coming. We've been talking about Rafael Nadal in recent times. If you need a model in tennis, it has to be Rafael Nadal. Wow, look at it. Last year, we're thinking and contemplating if Rafael Nadal will be able to compete at the highest level of tennis. And he did it, coming back from a foot injury, a nagging foot injury in particular, and coming back. And then we saw the coronavirus situation he was in. He managed to go through it. And I think the ultimate was winning the Australian Open. No one gave him a chance. Even Rafael Nadal didn't give himself a chance. He said he wanted to have fun in Australia, and fun he did have, winning the title. And look at him celebrating. Fantastic tennis player. And in terms of Grand Slam, the highest you can think of, 21 massive Grand Slam titles, and that speaks volume. I think by my standard, he should have gone even further, but we know he's not been playing tennis for a long time from last year. But based on recent performances, I made out to say this is the best tennis player in the world.
All right, now let's still with Rafa Nadal one more time, and now with the way he's playing, you come back against him cracking into the top 3, which would be the very first time in well over 14 weeks for him.
Surely, Rafael Nadal seemed like a wine that's getting better as it gets older. You would expect Rafael Nadal, based on the structure of his game. Rafael Nadal is known for the energy, the tenacity, the force that it brings into games. He plays tennis for hours, that resilience. That has been the thing about Rafael Nadal, and had been a question one way or the other that he's now 35. Can he continue that way? Does he have the tenacity to go on? And he's proved all doubters wrong, including me. He has all the ability and he's been performing at the highest level. Fantastic, I think he's making some adjustment to his game, not bringing too much energy in the initial part, but trying to sustain it for a long time. As you said, I think Rafael Nadal might go all out, and if care is not taken, we might just see a resurgence of Rafael Nadal becoming a world number one anytime soon.
All right, now, concerning the ATP rankings for this morning, for the second time, let's talk about a Russian. Andrei Rublev is his name. Is the reason One Sports now ranked number 6 in the world of tennis, following back-to-back wins in the Delray Beach Open, and of course was victorious over the weekend at the Dubai Duty-Free Tennis Championship. A seeing of Jerry Vasily, who stunned former world number 1 now. We're talking Novak Djokovic. Now, it's moved up One Sports. This is one of the best players on tour. You look at his record line, and this particularly 11-4 speaks volumes the kind of work he's put in this year.
I agree. Fantastic player for the Russian, Rublev. He's been playing quite well. Last year, we saw some of the good performances from him, but wasn't the biggest name you could think of in terms of performances. And I like the fact that he's starting out this year quite good, pushing hard. Just last week, won 2 tournaments. Fantastic the way he's turning out. And you expect when they're doing quite well, the latest ranking will reflect these performances, and that's what we've seen. Andrei Rublev moving up the ranking, and is as expected as it should be. Fantastic tennis player. The most question would be Brad Jan, because you look at the top 10 category of the tennis ATP division, you begin to see that the competition is closing up. Younger players are putting much effort. The likes of Nori are beginning to chunk out good results in recent times, showing class that they want to be among the best of the best. Exciting the way he's turning out. I'm quite happy for Rublev in his performance. My concern is him being consistent, because you have the French Open coming up and all other Opens coming up on the hard courts and name it, the grass courts. But it's going to be exciting to see the likes of Rublev show character, how they started the year. They move all out and play the way they're supposed to play. It's all about that consistent result. Can he do it? I do not know, but it's up for Rublev to show class and do it himself.
Right. We'll like to see that chunk of consistency from these tennis players. There was a movement from the likes of Jerry Vasily, who moved up to a new career high ranking. We're talking about the likes of Sebastian Baez and other players. But in time with fellas, we want to talk about all of those this morning. So